Hi gorgeous yoga mamas. Today we're doing a mini vid on some yoga poses that you can do right up until your birth. They're also perfectly fine to do after your birth, but you should probably wait about 3 months to give your body a nice amount of time to rest and recover after your birth. So this is a very gentle routine, and it's actually almost identical to what I do every morning. So it's actually my morning routine. So to start with, you need to be sitting down on a cushion if you have it. I'm using my chunky owl cushion, but if you don't have a cushion, go and get maybe a folded up towel or use a blanket so that you can just gently raise your hips a little bit up from the floor. So if you need to go and get one, press pause on the recording and we'll get back into it. Alrighty, so to start with, we're going to do just some nice, slow, deep breathing, just to calm the mind and get into the zone. So to start doing that, we're just going to gently close the eyes and do some gentle breathing in. Noticing as you inhale, you can feel your belly rise. And as you exhale, you can feel your belly fall. So you're doing the full extent of the inhalation and the exhalation. Okay, so to start, we're going to begin by doing a spinal twist. So taking your right hand and placing that behind your back on the top of your cushion or blanket, and as you inhale, lift and lengthen the spine, and as you exhale, turning around, looking over your right shoulder and holding and breathing. And on your next exhalation, coming round to the center, and then taking your left hand this time, using your inhalation, lift and lengthen the spine, and as you exhale, you're turning around, looking over your left shoulder and coming into a beautiful twist. So in this pose, using your breath as you inhale, lifting and lengthening the spine, and as you exhale, just sinking a little bit deeper into the twist. And on your next exhalation, coming forward and interlacing the fingers and taking your arms right up to the ceiling, having a lovely stretch and lowering those shoulder blades. Releasing the fingers, watch out for that piano, and interlace back and pull the arms back. Just having a lovely stretch across the chest. And through all this practice, ladies, you could be doing your Ujjayi breathing, concentrating on your breath and the sensation in your body with all the poses. Okay, so now we're going to go into a side bend, so taking your right hand up right high to the ceiling, creating some space in the torso before you gently come over to the side. And while we're bending over like this, lady, really expand into that right lung, so breathing right into that right lung, using that expansion to stretch and further expand the chest and the back of your back. And then coming up, and doing the other side. Inhale, lift up to the ceiling. Exhale, coming over. And again, breathing into that left lung there. And feeling that lovely stretch. And coming up to center. And let's stretch the shoulder blades by taking one arm out, interlacing at the elbows, and if you can, bringing the hands together as much as you can, coming into half Garuda. So with this one, just gently raising the elbows, nice and slowly. With this pose, you may wish to close your eyes and just focus on your breath. And releasing the arms, and we'll go and do the other side. So the other arm forward, interlacing at the elbows, and interlacing at the hands, and raising the elbows. Feeling that gorgeous stretch across the shoulder blades, which is so fantastic if you've been sitting for a long time, being on the computer at work, or lifting heavy things, even breastfeeding. Releasing the arms, and while we're here, we're going to do some gentle wrist rotations and the other way. Alrighty, so coming up, removing the cushion, and we're going to come onto all fours. So with this one, making sure that when we're coming into all fours with the arms underneath the shoulders, the knees hip width apart, that we're not banana backing our backs. We're not doing this, ladies. We're making sure that it's nice and square, keeping that sacrum area nice and flat. So what we're going to do now is come into cat pose. So with this one, as you exhale, you're rounding out the shoulders, tucking your chin towards your neck, and really feeling that beautiful stretch in the shoulders and the length of the back. And what we're going to do is we're going to move in time with your own breath as you inhale, coming back into the tabletop position. And as you exhale, coming out, coming up, rounding out the shoulders into cat pose. Inhaling to tabletop and exhaling into cat pose. And now, ladies, as you exhale, you can also suck your bellies up towards the back of your spine, which is perfectly safe for bubs. So your next exhalation, going up, sucking the belly towards the back of the spine, just further working that pose a little bit harder, gently working the transverse abdominals. And you're getting a gentle massage along the full length of the spine and neck. So just a couple more times. And then coming back to tabletop for your last inhalation for that pose. Alrighty, so now we're in this position. What we're going to do is come up into down dog. So for this one, making sure that fingers are nice and splayed apart to provide you with support on the mat, and placing your hands on the top ends of the mat there, a bit wider than shoulder length, shoulder width. And we're going to tuck the toes under, and as you inhale, you're then exhaling and then taking the seat bones right up to the ceilings. Now when you're in this position, keep a micro bend in the knee and just look at your feet. And what you want to do with your feet is make sure that they're almost as wide as the mat and slightly pigeon-toed, so that the side of your foot is parallel to the side of the mat. Now if you don't have any back problems, you can begin to straighten the knee and just keep pushing up those seat bones towards the ceiling.
Getting a beautiful stretch at the back of the legs. It's strengthening and toning in the arms and the shoulders. And while you're here, just shake your head from side to side, saying no and releasing any tension in the neck. And breathe. Don't hold your breath when you're in this pose. Having all the lovely benefits as a stretch behind the legs. Your spine is lovely and extended, allowing it to stretch out, and your arms and shoulders are getting a lovely workout as well. So coming down, and of course coming down earlier if you are feeling dizzy or tired. And to come down, we're going to rest in child's pose. So for this one, taking your knees nice and wide, and coming down, bringing your buttocks down towards your heels, and placing your forehead either on two fists, using your cushion if you like, or if you can, and it doesn't matter which one you're doing, placing your forehead on the mat. Coming into child's pose and slowing the breath down after doing down dog. In this calming, beautiful pose, you can feel you're getting a lovely stretch across the lower back, the inner thighs, the groin area is getting a lovely stretch, keeping it nice and open. In pregnancy, where it's all about strengthening and stabilizing the body, but also keeping things open, opening and softening the body in preparation for birth. And while you're here, just bring attention to your breath. And pausing the recording here if you'd like to rest or maintain this position, which is lovely and calming. The calming aspect being your forehead placed on either the mat or your forearms or the fists. Very calming, having your forehead in contact with the floor or the cushion or your hands. Alrighty, so then coming up, and we're coming into a standing pose. So coming into Tadasana, feet hip width apart, and coming into Tadasana to bring attention to, just checking the numbers there, just bringing attention to your posture. So standing in this pose, hip width apart, shoulders up and back, arms beside the body. Gently tucking the tailbone under, bringing the pelvis in line underneath the belly to help support the body as best as you can. And feeling the strength of this pose. I'm going to check in with breath, so one hand on chest, one hand on belly. Gently closing your eyes and just feeling the breath enter your body. You could be doing your Ujjayi breathing. Noticing as you breathe in, your bellies rise. And as you exhale, the belly falls. Placing your hands on your hips, and we're just going to do some gentle hip circles, going one way and going the other.
And then we're going to go into warrior pose. So to do that, taking a nice big step, big nice wide step, and turning your right foot this way and your other foot just round a fraction. And as you breathe in, taking your arms out nice and straight out beside your body. And as you inhale, you lift and lengthen the spine. Turn to gaze down your right middle finger. And as you exhale, you're coming down into the lunge. And you're holding and you're breathing. And you're feeling this working in your body, ladies. You can feel it. You're getting a lovely stretch in that inner left thigh, but you're feeling it strengthening the thighs. You can feel it in your calves. And as you gaze down your hands, say in your mind, I am strong. And releasing the arms, coming out of the lunge, giving the legs a little bit of a shake before we go on to the other side. And just making sure that if you're feeling uncomfortable or dizzy or in any pain whatsoever, always coming out of the pose and not holding it for as long. So for this side, ladies, turning your left foot this way and your other foot around just a fraction, and we're taking the arms out nice and wide. Inhale, lift and lengthen, turning you around, looking down your left hand, and as you exhale, you're coming down into the lunge. And just watching that alignment, making sure that knee doesn't go over the heel, just checking that. And holding and breathing. And say in your mind, I am strong. Now ladies, this is a very strong pose. You can feel it working in your calves and in your thighs. In your left leg there, it's quite strong. The arms are working strong and the shoulders. So very beneficial for the body. And releasing the arms, coming up, bringing the legs together and just having a nice kick and just shaking them out. And ladies, the next pose we're going to do is a horse pose, which we've all done before in the class. So we're going to take feet nice and relatively wide, a bit wider than shoulder width, and bringing the hands to heart position, or you can leave them on your waist if that's more comfortable for you. So with this one, choosing a part of the room that you're going to focus your attention on, and we're going to drop down into a partial squat and hold for 45 seconds. So let's begin. Inhale and exhale, coming down into the squat and holding. Very good, well done. So giving your legs a little bit of a kick, shaking that out. And if you do have some wall space around you, just going up to a wall, we're just going to stretch out the front of the thighs, because it's quite strong working that muscle. So just holding onto a wall, if you can find some wall space,
And grabbing your foot if you can, and just bringing that towards the back of your buttocks there. And stretching out the front. If you want to take your other arm up towards the ceiling, if you're feeling balanced, you can do that. In stalk pose. And then releasing, and then doing the other side, so turning around or finding a place that's comfortable for you, and bringing the heel towards your buttock. And if you're balanced and comfortable, taking the other arm up towards the ceiling. Oh, lovely. Alrighty, so now going back down onto the mat, so grabbing your trusty cushion, we're going to do a hip opener. So with this one, sitting on the cushion cross-legged and placing one foot forward of the other. Now, if you have something that you can use instead of touching the floor that's a lot easier, then you could use that. Otherwise, I'm just going to reach down onto the carpet in front of me here. And what we're going to do in this pose is, as you bend forward, you're hinging from the hips. So we're not going down that way, we're hinging from the hips. So if you can reach the floor with your fingers, if you can't reach the floor, pause the recording and go and grab something that could be effective, like we do in class with the block. So using something like that so you can reach and have your hands securely on the floor area. Otherwise, we're breathing in, and as you exhale, you're hinging forward from the hips and creeping the hands forward and pulling up when you feel some resistance there in the back of that buttock. And we're going to hold. And using that exhalation to sink deeper into the stretch. Releasing on the exhalation. And looking up and then coming up. Swapping the legs over. Putting the foot about 10 centimeters in front of the other one. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Reaching down towards the carpet, and as you exhale, you're hinging forward from the hips, keeping the chest open and pulling up when you can feel that resistance at the back of the hip and the buttock there. And again, using the exhalation to soften into the pose, releasing any tightness that you can feel there. This is one of the most beneficial poses that you can do while you're pregnant because of problems that can happen with sciatica and other issues in the lower back. And if you keep this area nice and stretched and not tight, releasing any tension there, it'll be very beneficial for you. And looking up and coming up. And then coming into Baddha Konasana, bringing the soles of the feet together. And we're just going to, while we're letting this pose do its work, we're going to do some pelvic floor. So just already feeling here, getting a lovely stretch in the inner thigh, getting lots of good blood flow to the groin area. It's meant to be very helpful in helping to reduce varicose veins. And while we're sitting here, we're going to engage and hold the pelvic floor for 10. So when we're engaging, we're holding and making sure we fully release after the 10. So engage, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
10 and release. And then we're going to do 10 pulses. So again, after each count, making sure that you engage the pelvic floor and fully release it. Okay, so let's begin with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. And just letting the legs go before you, give them a bit of a shake, and lovely ankle rotations going one way and then the other. And to finish off, we'll end on a little bit of a meditation and lovely slow deep breathing. So sitting up nice and tall, hands resting on your knees, or you can have them in Jnana Mudra, whatever's comfortable for you. Gently closing the eyes. And bringing your attention to your breath. And just feeling the breath as it enters down your throat and into your belly. As you're doing the full extent of the inhalation and the exhalation. And we're just going to begin by slowly releasing any tension that you have around your eyes. So as you exhale, saying yes in your mind to releasing any tension around the eyes or the jaw. And your next exhalation, saying yes to letting go any tension in your neck and shoulders. And your next exhalation, saying yes to releasing any tension in your thighs as you exhale. And your next exhalation, you extend the out breath longer than you would normally. And just feeling the calmness spread even further through your body with that extended exhalation. And just resting, focusing on the breath as you inhale and exhale. And bring to mind one thing that you're grateful for. And see that image of what you're grateful for. And feel into that beautiful feeling of gratitude. And now leaving the gratitude, bring to mind something that you value about yourself. One small thing that you value about yourself. Again, feeling into that gratitude of that value of yourself. And then feeling your body from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. Feeling the parts of your body that are in contact with the floor. Seeing your body, what it looks like. Imagine seeing yourself sitting on the floor. See your whole body sitting on the floor. And now see the room with your eyes closed. See the wall above you, the walls around you. See the ceiling above you. Then bring attention back to your breath. Noticing how that you are breathing now. Noticing the calmness in your body. And noticing your thoughts. And we're going to get ready to end the relaxation, bringing some gentle movement to your fingers and toes. And gently opening your eyes. And going on with your day. See you later.